listening to the Heavy Checklist Podcast.
What's up, America? My name is Heavy D.
Look at that, man. You are getting fancy with your sound effects.
Yeah, buddy.
That's DJ Marcus Wing, everybody. I am Dave Sparks, a.k.a. Heavy D. I have a TV show on Discovery Channel called Diesel Brothers. Also, just a businessman, family man, social media influencer is what they call us these days. And also, we have this podcast that we call the Heavy Checklist. And we designed this podcast for basically us, really. And it turns out there's a lot of people that like us that listen to the podcast because we kind of have we have some common. We have a lot of things in common with our listeners, and we have a lot of things in common with the people that support our business. So we've designed this podcast to help you understand some of the things that we do that just help us perform better. Obviously, like I said, my name's Heavy D. I've got my co-host, Mr. DJ Marcus Wing.
No sound effect for me this week.
Come on, what do you mean?
Drop the ball. I was focused on our high-level guests,
So you got nothing in there for you.
Nothing for me.
That's disappointing. We do actually have some high-level guests, so if you don't turn off the podcast just yet. Give us a second to get to the point to where we introduce you, because I'm actually super freaking pumped about tonight's show. This is one that I've been wanting to do for a while. Stars aligned perfectly, and now we're about to make it happen. But before we get to our guests, also we've got our other co-host, Mr. Kenneth Thompson.
I am excited to be here with some awesome people.
Listen, can you guys believe we've made it to episode 17? 17 episodes. This is probably the most consistent thing I've ever done in my life.
I'm surprised that I've only missed one, and obviously Marcus is always here, and so are you. So that kind of leaves me
have to come,
That's true.
We've just got wild schedules, and the fact that we always line up, it's pretty impressive.
Well, it matters to us.
Yeah, it does. It says a lot about the reason why we're doing this, because we get really good feedback from people that are actually doing some of the stuff that we're talking about. And speaking of that, one of our guests on the show tonight is somebody who I look up to, and I actually look up to all the guests on the show tonight. But there's a mutual respect between this individual and myself, and I found out that he actually listened to the podcast, one of the first episodes on the vision board stuff, and started actually doing it. He sent me a message, found out he was actually building a vision board, and I was like, man, that's really cool because there we go. Is that a hint? So, introducing, without any further ado, the most powerful couple that I've ever met in my life, Mr. Rob and Mrs. Dana Lynn Bailey. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Rob and Dana. Can you call you Dana or is it Dana Lynn?
I only go by Dana Lynn because Rob fucked my name up.
Really?
Yeah. So my name was Dana Lynn Bailey, or Dana Michelle Lynn.
Okay.
And so Lynn is actually my last name, and I moved it to my middle name.
It rolls off the tongue.
I liked my name.
I love it.
Dana
Please
Michelle.
don't tell people your middle name, because I use that as one of my security questions on my bank account.
And
Why
there
would
we
you
have
say that?
So I was like, no one will ever know.
Do I have to edit that out now?
Hey, but
Now let it slide.
I just got to tell you that it was Dana Michelle Lynn.
Dana Michelle Lynn.
Dana Lynn Bailey feels just flows a little.
But
It gets a little
but
stronger.
It's the Lynn.
Yeah.
But if you do a little Google searching, Dana Lynn is actually also a porn star.
Okay, yeah, we're going to be careful with that search.
Yeah.
Dana.
But mostly I take over the internet. So
It is good to have the Lynn though, because Dana Bailey by itself is kind of
it
I feel like
just doesn't
I
go.
feel like that guy is going to sell me life insurance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hi, this is Dana Bailey over at the Allstate office.
So
And I don't know why it's a guy, but it is in my head, so I'm sorry.
So most people think my first name is Dana Lynn, which
That's what I thought.
Cool. Yeah.
I actually have it spelled here where I didn't want to separate the Dana Lynn too much because I thought it was one word. So you guys are like the definition of hustle and ambition to me. And we'll get into that and help the listeners understand why that is. But man, where do we even start with you? I'm so pumped to ask you so many questions because if you don't know who Dana Lynn and Rob are, you got to do a quick Google search. Even while stop the podcast and Google these guys because it will blow you away. Even just the first glance, you're like, wow, that's a powerful looking couple. You guys are powerful looking people. I remember when I first met you on an airplane, I told you this story.
Yeah.
You were wearing some crazy outfit that.
No, it was just normal, man.
Well, I mean, you were making a statement.
What?
Rob has a very, very keen sense of fashion, right? It's very
I think I'm just confident. So
You are
I
confident.
can pull things off that probably don't actually look good maybe sometimes.
no, it's aggressive. It is on the cutting edge, I would say.
I'm wearing spandex jeans.
You are wearing spandex jeans, and they're the most comfortable jeans that I've actually ever tried on.
You've
And
worn the
I've-
jeans that I'm wearing right now.
and it was a wonderful experience.
I'm going to include some pictures in the show notes.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Yep.
Also, let's not forget that we also have another guest who's kind of sharing a mic over here with Mrs. Dana Lynn. But you want to introduce yourself, though, pal?
I would like for you to introduce me, Heavy D.
Well, let me see if we got any sound effects. Well, that's what you got.
That's all I got.
That's your sound effects.
You don't want the other one.
What
You
are
know?
you doing for Keaton?
What's the other one?
What's the muscle? Wait, where was the
Take your
Batman
pick.
one?
Price is
Take your
wrong.
pick, bro.
All right, you know what? I like them both at the same time.
Okay. Let's
Can
see.
I have-
Hold on.
All right, it's the muscle.
Yeah. Oh, they play. No,
Hey, little fact for you guys out there: your episode was one of the highest listened to episodes.
It was one of my favorite too.
it was
I
a good
loved it.
episode, dude. And what my favorite part about that episode is it was completely unplanned. Like I didn't tell you what the
Well, hold on. It wasn't unplanned. You didn't tell me anything.
I planned-
Or you had a whole book.
I had a story
that you were reading.
Yeah, I had to memorize a story for that. Yeah, that was pretty. That was
No, it
intense.
naturally flowed and went where it needed to, and I think that's what made it really good. Is that everybody kind of had little tidbits they wanted to share with it, and then we all kind of kept building. That's
Yeah.
what I love
Yeah.
about it.
That's what happens with every podcast. Actually, I don't want to forget some of the other guests in the room. They don't have microphones, so you're probably not going to hear much from them. You will in future podcasts, but next to the muscle is his beautiful friend Mamie. I don't know why she hangs out with him, but she's here, and God bless her for taking care
She
of
gets
his-
right on a dirt bike.
Yeah.
God bless her.
And then at the end of the table, we have Haloti Nata, which took me about a year to understand what his name actually was. Like I didn't quite understand where it ended and where it started.
Can you pronounce that last name one more time?
Haloti Nata.
There you go.
It's 2 words. Haloti is a good friend of ours who actually just retired from the NFL. So round of applause for Haloti.
Yeah.
Do you have that? There we go. Yes, perfect.
And what's on your ring down there? What is your ring?
Yeah, look at that.
It's a lot of bling, man.
That is incredible.
So we're actually gonna have a separate podcast with Haloti because the dude is very accomplished, and we're pumped to have him. But we're just hanging out, and then obviously we have my assistant Hans, who did not get a microphone tonight, but maybe one time we'll get you in a microphone again. So listen, the purpose of tonight's podcast is to talk to Rob and Dana about this empire they've built. You guys have built very successful businesses, and you have also built very successful physiques, right? Like you,
Her more than me, but yeah.
it's incredible, man. Like
That is bullshit.
you
You have a great physique.
Rob Bailey is on my vision board of what I want to look like. You know what I mean?
Come on.
It's on my vision board.
Man, thank you.
If you just Googled Rob or Dana, you may be seeing pictures of them where they look really intimidating. Because when you first meet these people, they're very intimidating. That's Rob singing, actually.
Yeah.
He's telling you he's going to bury you. And the way he looks when you
Menacing.
see him without knowing him is you definitely feel like this man's going to bury you. Once you get to know him, though, it could not be any further from the truth. And Dana, tonight's the first night I'm actually getting a chance to hang out with Dana in person. I'm assuming if you're with Rob, you got to be like just like him or like 10 times better, like most wives
Definitely
are.
cooler.
Yeah, definitely cooler, right? So let's start with. Oh man, you guys, you do so much.
Can we start with Montana? Because I watched your
Yeah.
freaking
That's
like the
Instagram
end.
post.
That's the end. That's what I was going to say. I
Holy
know a little
crap.
bit of their story, and it's like Montana is now.
Dude, it's like
Montana.
dogs and animals and beauty and like farms. Like I'm pretty jealous, man.
So here,
Yeah.
let me just start with some fun facts about Rob, at least that I know. Rob is 250, 260 pounds.
Yeah, right now.
Massive. The dude is
what were
massive.
you in the photo I saw of you that you look like a different
I was
person?
like 310 in there.
Yeah, so I didn't know you when you weighed that. And you showed me a picture, and I
Yeah.
thought to myself, you worked so hard to get to that giant of a man, and now you're this super, super lean. And you were lean then, but why the change? That's
I wasn't healthy. I mean, I don't think I was healthy. So like, I think it's one thing to be that big as a bodybuilder and whatever, and then it's another thing to like sleep 3 hours a night.
yeah.
I was smoking 2 packs of Black and Milds a day and only drinking energy drinks so I could just work because I started out printing everything by hand myself just because no finances. So being that big and living like a really shitty lifestyle, we were actually in Australia, and who was my assistant, sort of creative director at the time, Austin Ragno, and her sort of pulled me aside and they're like, "You're gonna die soon.
We were not that drastic.
You were ruthless."
But
Well, it worked, right?
so that
Yeah.
that picture was actually in Montana, and we were doing a hike, and I even remember you.
Don't say what I said. You're not
No,
gonna
tell
quote
us.
me.
You can tell us.
No, I used a bad word that I don't use anymore.
I don't remember what.
Give us the
I wasn't
PG
gonna say,
version.
Never
but
mind.
he
Does it rhyme
was
with
like
punt?
dying,
I was dying.
trying to get up to that. Like we didn't even do the whole trail. Like
So he
like,
was just massive, but not
just
healthy at all.
When you're that big, you
Gigantic.
just you're overworking everything in your body. Your
Yeah.
heart has to pump so much harder to get to all of your organs.
My frame's not meant to be
It's-
310.
Yeah, mine either.
it's just not a healthy thing.
Please stop.
Sorry. You're meant to.
I'm 300 pounds. Dana.
No, but you carry it better.
We're
than I
all
carry it.
just staring right at Keaton. Is this his intervention?
No.
I feel like that you guys brought me here for a reason.
What does Haloti weigh?
Aloti is 340.
Yeah, but he's 7 foot tall.
Yeah, his
like-
frame is built for 340. Like you, but
Yeah, I shouldn't have been that heavy.
No, Dana called you peanut head on the way over
I
here.
said he was so big that it made his head look like a peanut.
I can see that.
Thanks.
Well,
But
Rob,
he
you have
doesn't-
trimmed up and you look fantastic. And the fun fact I was going to tell everybody is that you're actually a vegan.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this is a bodybuilder who is
Yeah.
actually able to like put on mass, and you don't do it by eating any sort of meat, and dairy, right?
Yeah, I haven't had meat in over 3 years now. And when I dropped out meat, I still had fish and eggs. I kept fish and eggs in for like another year. So it's been like 2 years without fish or eggs, and then dairy sort of trailed off after that.
So full blown, you like no meat.
So
products.
I don't have meat, but sometimes like if a salad comes out and there's like a little cheese on it,
Yeah.
I'm not like a crazy person who's like, get this out of here.
Right.
I don't like to waste food, so I'll eat it, but I won't go out and like order a pizza.
Right, because it's covered in cheese and
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah. So, and everyone told me, they're like, oh, dude, you're fine now, but wait till a year from now. And then last year was like, wait till a year from now.
right. Well, you look great,
Thanks, man.
dude. So I asked you when we first started chatting in Vegas why you chose to be vegan, whether it was for the health benefits or for the actual you felt bad for the animals, and your answer kind of surprised me. I guess it didn't surprise me because I knew a little bit more about you, but. Why are you vegan? Is it for the health benefits or is it for the animals?
So it's not for the health benefits. It's for the animals. And
Yeah.
it took me a long time to admit that.
Yeah.
You know, so I also, a lot like, you know, I think you and I think exactly the same on a lot of things. I don't like being lied to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like my whole life being raised a certain way and sort of realizing that like I've been marketed to that I need to drink milk so my bones are strong, and like even like the way your plate looks, like you're always like, okay, so this is the meat, this is the vegetable, this is the vegetable. And then as soon as I started dropping things out, I was like, wait, I'm fine. And I've been told that like the food pyramid told me I was going to die. The fucking 4 food groups told me that I needed this. And
You got to the point where you wanted to prove it wrong.
yeah, and all of a sudden, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's the eggs. Like maybe eggs are the things that are keeping me alive right now. So I dropped out eggs, and I'm like, holy shit,
Still alive.
I'm still alive, and it's fine. and then what I started doing is I started looking at like my goats and like starting, you know, you can form a relationship with the animals. We all have. We've all walked up to a cow and you pet a cow and you're like, wow, this cow's really cool. And
I feel that way with horses.
yeah, but you know what I mean? And horses are dope and people eat horses and all that. So no, not normal people, but whatever. People do. They end up in people's food. So anyway, but I started making the connection, and then I was like, wait, so if you do the simple math of like, I don't need this to survive, but I'm doing it anyway, it's because I'm doing it because I literally just think that my taste buds are more important than the life of an animal. And I was like, that's not right, man.
Yeah.
And between that and being lied to by the government and by doctors and by all this shit, fuck that.
I love it.
How long ago was that? From that picture I saw.
Oh, that was like 5 years ago.
And then, so you were changing lifestyles to some degree, and then you've been a vegan for 3 years?
I've been a vegan for like a 2, I think. I don't have like an exact date. Like
But
a
you're
coming out date.
currently, but you're currently holding the muscle mass you desire.
And I don't count calories and there's no macros.
So this works for you.
Completely fine, yeah.
That was the one thing I didn't get to ask you in Vegas. I remember Dave asking you why you became a vegan and these other things, but I was going to ask you, like, are you currently able to maintain and scale and things without
I could be 300 pounds in 3 months if I wanted. Yeah.
That's
Are
awesome.
you ever
mean-
hungry?
No.
So,
I mean,
like,
I'm
the
hungry
food
just like everybody
sustains?
else. You know what I mean? Like I was
Yeah.
hungry at Keaton's house, but I ate.
You had cinnamon bears.
Yeah, I ate some of those bears.
But it's
And
not
then
like a
I
void.
had-
You don't feel this void.
No. So the trick to it was like you smell bacon, you get hungry for bacon.
Right.
I would just go on my phone and I'd type in like pig slaughter and I'd watch and right away I'd be like, oh no, that's not cool. So like anytime I got that craving for the first
killed it.
month, I watch that and you make that association
Dude, yeah.
and you're done.
No, that's
you know what I mean?
That's actually a great way to do it.
Yeah, and I went to the Tony Robbins seminar.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you're a fan of Tony
Yeah.
Robbins, and that
That's
was
what
like
made me
one of the
think
big
of it.
things that we did there was it was like you have to associate one of your bad habits, one of your thoughts, your limiting factors with a really bad experience, and then it's easy to break and fill with a new habit.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing is you can do that with anything.
Anything.
Whatever you're trying to
Anything.
accomplish or kick or what, just associate it with something terrible.
Something terrible. Yeah.
What about you, Daylin? Are you a vegan?
I'm ovo-pescatarian.
What the hell is that?
That's-
related
I'm
to
Mormon.
Episcopalian.
Eggs and I'm doing eggs and fish only.
Okay.
So I tried to go the vegan route because, again, I'm like him. I care about animals. I have animals.
guys have a
and,
farm.
Like we had chickens. Like they were the nicest chickens that like you could hold. We had some asshole roosters, but
Roosters are the
like we
worst.
had turkeys and chickens, and the turkeys like would just follow you around. They just like to have their head pet, and my body definitely does not like anything processed.
Right.
Being a bodybuilder, like I've lived off of like very clean eating for the last 15 years.
Is that how long you've been doing this?
I mean, like.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
And how old are you, Rob?
35.
Same
I'm
age.
3 days older than her.
3 days older.
So you guys, you've been doing this for 15 years roughly.
I mean, like 12 years for sure. Like I started competing in 2006. So it was my first kind.
And you've been consistent since then?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Like ever since I did my first show, I learned how to diet, and it's been like I used to be a lot more psycho. I'm actually so relaxed.
Yeah.
Like I ate like today I had gummy bears and
M&M's.
M&Ms.
I don't think people
you bring
realize
any of those
how
gummy bears?
difficult that really is though. Like the competition lifestyle.
It's insane.
nuts, right?
Well, that's why I like took a break. But like back to your actual question. But the reason I'm still ovo-pescatarian is because I can't do soy.
I gotta write that down. I didn't even know that was ovo-pescatarian.
Soy, is it because of the hormones?
My body doesn't like it. I was wondering. I tried it for like 2 weeks straight, and I felt sick most of the time. My stomach was super distended, and it's like I can't like digest it or something.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I want to be healthy, and I want to feel healthy, and I want to live forever.
Right.
So by doing that,
At the same point in time, I don't do much soy. I'm not trying to fight about it, but I don't do much soy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you do soy for the fair?
I don't like go out of my way to do it. Well, the hormone comment.
Yeah.
Come on now, we're drinking cow's milk, which is
Right,
Is,
yeah.
But I mean, guys get like they lactate from the soy sometimes, right?
they?
Is that true? I
would
mean,
you
that's
eat-
what I was told.
Yeah,
You
I
need
was told you
stay
to
away
drink
from
milk so your bones
soy.
don't break.
But it just wasn't one I was gonna.
Here's where
attempt.
I'm at though.
No, I've heard that too. I've never noticed
hasn't
that.
affected you.
No. But
Okay.
I also
That's
don't.
good to know.
I also like. I mean, part of it's like I'm trying not to do too much processed stuff.
Well, and maybe you're not eating the meat and stuff that with soy maybe would be a problem.
I don't
too.
think so.
Don't you agree
moderation.
that your body though, like I think people get too wrapped up in what the rules are. At the end of the day, our body tells us what we want and
Well,
what we
I'll
shouldn't.
I
if
eat
you're listening.
twice a day.
Twice a
And
day?
Twice.
What?
I eat 2 meals a day. Going
Wow.
from like because and everything always says like, oh my god, like you need to eat 6 times a day, smaller meals. And I'm doing the complete opposite of what I was doing as
And
a
you're doing just
bodybuilder,
great.
and I'm actually staying in better shape.
But you've also been doing it for 15
Yeah,
years.
there's- I have a
she-
lot. I have a lot of muscle on my body, so like, but I'm not losing any size. I'm not losing strength.
You're maintaining.
Maintaining, and I stay leaner. I'm doing less cardio than I used to have to do when I was eating like consistent meals that you were always told like, oh, you should be eating every 3 hours. And
I do better when I eat frequently. Healthy.
Here's what I love
yeah,
about
and
you
I've
guys.
done everything. Like I've done keto, that worked. I've done high carbs, low protein, that worked. Like every diet I've done, it's worked except for cutting everything out and trying. But I don't know. I do, and like the reason I do eggs is like, what do we do with all those eggs? Like, what's the point of having chickens? They're
Right.
just
I
gonna
love
keep
eggs.
reproducing eggs. So
So even from an ethical and a moral standpoint, you're able to like you're okay with that because
I'm okay with
it's
it.
like a natural thing.
Yeah,
Rob's
he'll
looking
have
at us
like
like
a
we're
no. He'll
murderers.
have
I just
like
don't want
a-
to step in and I just don't want to be the vegan guy. You know what I mean?
He'll have rules about it, and that's
Yeah,
just
it's fine.
how I feel.
But we
It's like,
coexist, you know what I mean? And that's the thing is like I
Like,
hang out with nothing but
if we had
normal meat
if
eaters
you
all the
had
time, and like
chickens, what would you do with? I always wanted to ask someone that was like, I have someone that's vegan, but like we are friends with a lot of animal rescue places, and they have chickens. Like, but what do you? A lot of times they sell them to stores and stuff because what do you do with the eggs? You
Well, because
can't
not
just-
every egg is intended to be an actual chicken,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the difference.
You can't just keep letting chickens reproduce and reproduce.
Right.
And reproduce. So
Yeah.
what do you do with them?
That's what I love about
So-
you guys. You're so damn passionate about. I mean, we're talking about the chicken and the egg right now, and you
Yeah,
guys
we're-
are. I can tell Rob's
I'm
like
getting all
biting his
fired up
tongue.
over here.
No, this is the
Yeah.
best thing though, because when I think at first glance people look at you too, and it's
Yeah.
probably easy to do this with anybody who's in great shape. Think like their life and their world revolves around the gym, which it's a big part of your life. But getting to know you guys more, I'm like, holy shit, like. They have you guys have massive businesses, and you have this farm or this barnyard up in Montana, and you have all these different cool things that you do.
Can we please stop talking about bacon and eggs? I'm
I think we're
really
moving on past
hungry.
that right now, so we are good.
We're good.
No, but you guys are very inspiring because it shows that you can be passionate about
Yeah.
more than one thing, which I think a lot of people get hung up on. Like they make their hobby their life and their passion, and they get so caught up in it that they don't really allow themselves to like be anything else than what they think they're supposed to be because they just love this, whether it's fitness or whatever hobby they're into, they get so wrapped up in it. You guys do that really well. You have this balance of obviously you have a family life. You don't have kids, right?
No kids.
Goat kids.
You have goat kids. And,
And
how
dog
many
kids.
animals do you have?
We have
No idea.
Like 20?
no. We used to in PA. We had goats and chickens and turkeys. We had ducks for a little bit, but
We
they
had
flew.
deer,
We had
Benjamin.
Benjamin Buck, my pet deer.
Benjamin Buck.
And then we had dogs. But now we have 2 Great Pyrenees dogs that live outside with the goats.
Yeah.
And then we have Ruby,
The Bash Brothers.
Bash
Bros,
Bros.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
Bash Bros.
That's the dogs.
We have Ruby, Roy, and Rodney, Max, Maddox, and Maisie. So 5 goats, 2 outside dogs, 1 inside dog.
So the Bash Brothers they're not in that dog category. So you have 4 dogs total.
So they're basically goat dogs. They're
She's
They live-
confusing, isn't she?
I am a little confused.
Okay, no.
No,
So we have
they're-
3 dogs.
So 3
3
dogs.
Yes.
Pitbull
2
and
goats.
5 goats.
5 goats.
5 goats.
Okay, so we got 8 animals, and then whatever other random critters running around. Nothing that you've named
Yeah, that's
yet.
it. See, we don't have that many.
Some cougar,
it's not
yeah,
that
cougar
much.
visitors.
I feel like you guys are still getting settled in.
We gave our chickens to a friend of ours before we moved because we're like
We're too high up in the mountains.
Yeah. It's like they would attract way too many animals, which
And roosters are overrated. They're the worst. Because roosters don't work like you think they do. It's not like 6 a.m. there's the rooster. It's like 3 a.m. the rooster's having some
Yeah.
retarded fight down the street. And then he's like, he thinks it's morning. Roosters do not know what time it is, ever.
Yeah, that whole like roosters
mean.
only do the morning thing. No, all
No.
of ours have always crowed the entire
Yep,
day.
Exactly. Yeah, and yeah, I hate. So when I lived in Bolivia, there was roosters everywhere. Like we were like everywhere, and no matter
Wait,
what time
what?
it was. Yeah, on my mission, I lived in Bolivia.
Okay.
So
I always forget about
yes,
the missions.
yeah, we served missions, and so that put me in the middle of the Amazon jungle, and I grew like this like real passionate hate towards roosters
understand.
because you can't even sleep.
I've only had one rooster I actually liked.
Really?
His name was Biggie, and he was 20 pounds.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not really a rooster.
Yeah. Well, so
was more
we
like
League of his own.
Yeah.
Those were broiler chickens. Those are the ones that basically everyone eats
Oh, yeah.
in
Yep.
grocery stores. So they are bred to grow really, really fast.
Don't they like grow to a point where they like start breaking their own bones?
Well, most of the time they die and have heart attacks. So mine actually, they usually die within a year. But we had ours for about 2.5 years. I took them to the vet a couple times. I'm probably like the only person that's
Hold
ever.
on, you took a rooster to the vet?
I had 2
Multiple times.
because they were having a hard time breathing. They had respiratory problems.
So they have like CPAP machines for roosters, or how do they?
But no, we got
and an inhaler.
antibiotics and stuff.
See, this is what I love about you guys. You're so damn
I
passionate.
felt-
You took your rooster to the damn vet.
My
I
rooster
picture Rob
and his.
putting an inhaler on it. And like, okay, you're good.
Oh,
buddy.
absolutely. I see
You're
Rob
doing
having
good."
these little like tiny
Like,
defibrillators.
Yeah, nursing it back to health, checking on it.
I did everything I could possibly do to keep them alive.
I've got 12 chickens at home.
When he
Really?
died, did you eat him?
Yeah.
No, I buried him.
We cried and we buried him and named a hill after him.
No, the hill was after
Oh, Harold.
Harold. Harold's Hill.
Who was Harold?
Harold
That was
our
our
turkey.
turkey.
Okay, so another
Which
animal.
were also like the white, super athletic ones that like aren't very active. Like
That's weird. You never see white and super athletic.
I don't even know what she's talking about right now.
Well, no, because we have turkey. We have turkeys by us that can fly and stuff.
Hey, we
but-
can't make jokes like that.
Oh,
Only
no.
minorities just
They
left the room.
were white, unathletic turkeys.
Yeah.
Is what she meant to say.
unathletic.
Oh, that makes
yeah.
more sense.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
White-
uncoordinated.
Yeah, we're done
getting
now.
out.
Moving on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we just
Before we go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So, guys, Rob and Dana, you two, obviously, Dana, you have become like a fitness icon. You've got a couple million followers, right?
2.
Is it 2 on Instagram, something like that?
Almost. Yeah. I mean, you guys could help. It's still at 1.9.
Oh, it's the worst. I got stuck at 1.9 forever.
Forever.
Yeah. I had to give
Forever.
away a Polaris Razor to get past 2.
Should I do that?
You should. You got to do
All right.
something. Get people excited.
You got to pay to play.
I feel like I
says.
stuck
I've
there
been
forever.
sitting at 3.7 thousand, for a while now.
Like 37.
I think I broke 1,000.
3,700.
I mean, on
followers.
Facebook, I have more.
It's weird,
But I
Facebook,
don't-
but yeah, it's so hard.
Because I had that
but nobody
longer.
really-
Yeah.
I don't even look on
Dude,
Facebook.
there's still a lot of people on Facebook. It's just not fun over there.
No.
I don't
It's just a bunch of shit talkers.
Very
like-
angry.
I don't want to
I
say.
don't
I don't
go
want to say
there.
everybody's like that, but it's the vibe over there is way different
Yeah.
I
than
don't
different
like it.
Instagram.
How much
Although
of that
the
is
marketplace,
Facebook?
Yeah.
The Facebook marketplace is pretty rad. I still check on that.
Really?
It's like a yard sale.
Like KSL?
Yeah, like KSL, but for Facebook.
Never looked at that.
So
should check it out.
You got across the board 3, 4, 5 million followers. People that love you. I don't think they just love what you do. I think they love you because you're lovable. I think you are. I think with just seeing you, it's like, holy shit, she's in great shape. She's intimidatingly like buff, but she's also like super like she's a beautiful lady.
She
which
seems like a
not many
pocket full
people
of
can pull
giggles.
off. Like I don't want to talk bad about the people in the competition world because I wouldn't. But it's really hard to have a balance, right? To be ripped and attractive for a girl.
It's not that hard. You
just
don't
don't
do
do
drugs.
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
that simple.
As
I
they
try
say in
to tell
unison.
everyone, and then they don't follow.
So
what I
I
tell
think
them.
I don't want to talk too much about the natty thing because people get really angry. But
Very angry.
The what thing?
Natty.
being natural.
Oh,
Yeah,
'Cause
because no
no
one ever
one
believes her.
believes me.
But the thing is, it's like, imagine if you did something for 15 years every single day.
Yeah.
You'd be really good at it, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, everyone in the fitness industry wants in 6 months to
Yeah.
be jacked.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. Do it for 15 years and see what you look like.
if she looked like this and you guys tell me that she'd been at it for like a year and a half, I'd be like,
we know what's going on. It's
But
that creatine.
Yeah.
No one wants
apple
to.
juice.
No one realizes, 15 years of training.
Yeah.
And prior to that, it was
And
25 years of 4 sports. you
Yeah,
know,
I was.
so.
I played soccer in college, so I've been in shape my entire life. It was just a new direction, and I picked up on it. And I think actually my background, probably the thing that helped me the most was swimming.
Swimming is
I
amazing.
love swimming.
Just like
I could
with-
go on and on about swimming.
Yeah, I just think because I've always had broader shoulders,
Yeah.
and I started that when I was 5, and then I played soccer, softball, basketball, track. I did everything.
In my opinion, we've talked about this, I think, in one of the previous podcasts. There's no better pump in the world than a swimming pump. Like when you're out there just pushing,
Yeah,
because
that
it literally works
anaerobic.
everything.
Well, yeah, it's full body.
I stayed pumped for 3 days once after I got stuck. I did. I got stuck scuba diving out in Hawaii, and I got
Jesus.
pulled way out, hands nose. I came back from Hawaii
I remember seeing him
yoked.
And I was like,
I was
what?
just veiny and big, and everyone's like, dude, what did you do in Hawaii? And I'm like, I got stuck out in the ocean and I had to swim
I
for
survived.
an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, because I was breathing through a snorkel mask, so my oxygen was limited. I'm telling you, I have this very
new
very-
training thing
dude.
we
I really
can,
think it's something
talk
that
off air about that, about
dude,
the
it
marketing
works.
on that.
You limit your oxygen intake and you just work the hell out of your body, and your body's like, you just blow up.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
There's something to be
so
said about
that's
swimming.
actually Kenny got me started in swimming back when 10 years ago. We used to go in the morning, and it's just nothing can do what swimming can do.
When I boxed, our trainer would say you can run sprints or you can swim laps. And so I got into swimming and love it. But it's like drowning for your first few weeks, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
literally.
if I tried, I'd probably do 2 laps and die. Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, yeah,
keep
because you're a lot
being
of,
consistent.
the more muscly you get. What do you know what your body fat is? I bet you're.
Oh, I've never had it done.
Have you really not?
Never.
Wow.
I've never had. Yeah.
I thought she was going to joke at the end of that.
I don't.
She's being
I have
serious.
no idea.
Good for you.
Hey,
Because it's irrelevant,
Keaton,
right?
what would you
Yeah,
guess?
I
She's
just
at maybe
mirror.
3, 4, 5.
No,
Dana's
women are
right now,
different.
no.
Women are
so
different.
women are different. I was
Yeah.
at Dana's 12
Yeah.
to 14.
I
Which
think
is good for a
on-
male.
On stage, I was maybe 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's like
Oh my
But that's
gosh.
cut down to nothing.
yeah,
unheard
like
of.
for women, that's
impossible.
way- for a woman to be at 10 is like a man.
Why
to
is
be
that?
at 2.
Because their butt and boobs and stuff? Or
yeah, they just carry more fat. Their
Muscle,
hormones are
skeletal,
different.
everything.
Yeah.
A lot goes into it.
You know what you're at, Rob?
No idea.
Yeah, Rob, I tested his earlier. It's 2.
What?
2%.
Come on.
When he was sleeping.
And I said, "Are you milk?" He's like, "No, I don't take milk."
Oh, I get it.
I
don't
see
take
what you
milk.
did there. It was a 2%
Yeah, it was
milk
really
joke.
good, wasn't
It
it?
took me a minute to get there, but yeah, there we go. Yes.
Sorry, dude. I was a little late on that one. Come on, man.
So I think people can learn a lot from you guys. And I think right there, what we just talked about is a big lesson. You don't get hung up on the stuff that everybody else gets hung up on. I think a lot of fitness people are like super concerned about what their body fat is, even though it's just a number and they don't really know. You are concerned about how you actually feel and if you are happy with the way that you look. If you want to work on a certain area, you're going to work on that area. It doesn't matter what the numbers say, right? People don't get that though. People get so hung up on my macros, my this, my that, all these different things where it's like, just do your body knows what it wants.
Yeah, people, I think this is like when people say, ooh, I want to get my arms bigger. What should I do?
Right.
Simple. How do you enjoy training your arms? Like if you enjoy going really heavy, you enjoy going light, do whatever you enjoy and you're going to do that better than whatever I tell you. What if I told you need to rub coconut oil on your arms and hold them under a light, and that made them bigger, but you hated to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Whatever
whatever
give it a shot.
Hey, does that work though?
I don't know. I doubt it.
No, for sure. If you enjoy
does
it,
work.
because whatever you love to train, it's usually your best body part.
Yeah.
My favorite body part to train is shoulders.
Yeah.
My best
You
body
got great
part.
shoulders.
You know what bodybuilding taught me? I mean, I used to actively try to pursue to become big when I was younger, but the thing it taught me was exactly what you said. My favorite thing was doing my chest. And at the time, that was probably one of my better strengths. But then I started focusing on like my back that wasn't. I didn't love it, but then I got really good results. And then that became my favorite. So when I started focusing on my weaknesses, it soon became my strengths. But what was interesting is how that applies to life. But bodybuilding specifically, working on your muscles, it is one of those things that you can see it. It's this tangible, visible thing. It's something you don't like doing, but you want it to become better, becomes your favorite, and you become passionate about it like you're talking about. That is one of the things I'd say I love the most. Do you find the same thing?
Oh yeah, I fell in love with it because of how it made me feel. Because I used to not like my body at all. I used to hate my legs, and now all of a sudden it's like my favorite part of my body. I hated my chest. Now it's my favorite part of my body. But it was because when I went to the gym, because I came from a competitive background. So soccer's over. I started lifting with him, and every time we went in, we tried to max out on something. So it was seeing the weights go up, and then all of a sudden, like things are starting to shape. And I loved being able, like, oh, I want to build these a little bit bigger. I'm going to work a little bit harder, and you actually see those results, and it's like. It's addictive.
It's wild how you can sculpt like an artist, like it's clay.
Yeah.
Like I
You're
remember
like, oh, I
Arnold
want to
saying
make
that.
my quads a little bit bigger. I'm just going to train them a little heavier, or do little fancy things here and there, and you can do that, and it's so addictive.
You're a bodybuilder, right? People
Yeah.
consider you. Rob, are you a bodybuilder?
No.
You don't
just some
consider
dude.
yourself
I'm
a
just
body-
some dude.
But you lift a lot.
He
I mean, I lift
lifts
weights every day, yeah.
like a bodybuilder.
But
yeah.
I guess to be a bodybuilder, you have to be working towards something.
Yeah, I mean,
No, generally, in my opinion, everyone that is in the gym, you are a bodybuilder.
Right, yeah, I mean-
You're building.
Yeah,
your
but like
body.
that's not like I sleep every night, but I'm not a sleeper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just train every day just because it's a thing that I do. I eat every day, but I'm not a professional eater. It's just
Right.
Yeah.
I found that like the best way to keep my head under control is like at some point in time during the day I have to sort of lift, and
Right.
it helps me think and clear my head, and I feel right. And it's just a part of my life.
How tall are you?
So I think I'm actually 6'2", but I tell everyone 6'3".
You're probably 6'3"-ish because I tell everyone I'm
my
6'2", and I'm a little shorter than you.
All right,
so,
cool.
yeah.
I'm
If
6'3".
you're 6'3", it helps me be 6'2". So what are you, Dana? Like 4'9"?
I think I say I'm 5'4", but my doctor
Really?
says I'm 5'3.5".
Okay.
So
lot
I
of
think
power
everyone rounds up.
in a little package there. Like, I guess I thought you were shorter than that. I guess you're not.
Yeah.
Weird. I thought you were way taller.
No.
I don't know.
Actually, most people when they first meet me, and which is good thing when we do expos, because in pictures I'm very deceiving. It looks like I'm just massive and like
Right.
huge, and everyone thinks I'm like 5'9", 180 pounds, and then they see me and they're like, "Oh, you're like tiny." I'm like, "No, I'm
Well, you
big.
also
Look
run.
at
You also
this."
run around with Rob, so the size comparison doesn't really help.
Yeah, well,
being
no,
next
I
to
don't
Rob.
think for some reason they don't see that like comparison.
Yeah.
And then they're
It's the
just
internet.
they're sad when not sad. They're just, actually, I think they're more happy. They're like, oh, okay, you're not like a monster. You're
Right.
and a normal
You're a
looking
real
person.
normal looking person. Yeah.
I'm a normal person.
Yeah, that's
It's probably
true.
been to your benefit that in their mind you're a giant to them.
Yeah. And it's just like pictures just look totally different. You're not seeing, like, if I took pictures standing next to him every single day, then maybe people would think I'm small, but
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't want to ask because you would never ask a girl this, but what do you weigh? You're
5'4".
5'4".
And right now I'm probably between 135 to 140. That's usually where I stay.
That's awesome because you're buff, and it's hard for me to guess that, like what her weight would be.
Well, yeah, looking at you, you'd be like, oh, a girl that size probably weighs 100 pounds, 110 pounds. But obviously you've got more because it's muscle.
Yeah, I'm heavy.
Right.
Heavier. I don't think I'm heavy, but
Swimming now would be very different.
yeah.
Be a different story for
Yeah.
sure.
I think, well, I was a breaststroker. That was my stroke. So I think
Me too.
If it was butterfly, yeah, shut up. Fucking loser.
I'm pretty good at that.
If it was butterfly, it would be pretty hard, I think. Yeah.
Butterflies is hard for anybody though.
Yeah, just
that's
like
not
the
easy.
whole, like,
Yeah,
it
that's
just
hard on
sounds
you.
terrifying right now.
Yeah.
Like dolphin kicking coming out of the water.
That would be hard. Yeah.
So I mean, we could talk for like, a week straight about fitness with you guys, but that's, like I said when we got started, there's so much more to you than just fitness.
Fitness is like a really small part of it.
Yeah, you do so much
it's a big
more.
part of my life.
Well, her life.
It's a big part of your life, but you have businesses. You've built these massive empires. You guys, like, there's just so much to it. So I want to kind of like start to look at those different categories. And we'll start by Rob. I think at the top of the podcast, I mentioned that you had told me that you had listened to one of the first episodes and it reminded you about the vision board.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that experience.
So yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know what age it was, but I realized that like something clicks and you realize like, oh, I can do anything.
Right.
And I have a lot of friends like that like were sometimes delusional. Like, oh, I could, if I wanted to be in the NBA at 35 years old as a 6'3" white guy, I totally could if I practiced for a year. Like, I believe stuff like that,
I'm
like
the same
as
thing, dude.
irrational and as crazy as it is. And the vision board, I told you this too. The cool thing is, I think I told you about what I put on my vision board.
Yeah,
before
before
I got it. So I'm actually at a point in time in my life, and we both are, where we accomplished all of our goals. Like we set all the like Dana wanted to own a gym. She wanted to be on the Olympia stage. She won Olympia. I wanted to own a clothing line, own a very successful clothing line. I wanted to come out with a record. I was 13th on the Billboard charts at one point in time, somehow by accident.
Hey, hold on, hit that, cue that up.
I'm gonna bury you. Hey.
So that's one of Rob's.
It's a lot of yelling.
Yeah, it's a lot of yelling. I don't know how you do that.
It's
yelling
yelling.
hard on your throat.
It's very hard. But I realized like, hey, we can do whatever we want. We wanted to move to Montana. We wanted to do all these things. So, at this point in my time in my life, I told you I was like actually nervous to put things on my vision board because if you just put a yacht on your vision board or something like that, right? It's gonna happen. So you need to think through the fact that like you're like, oh shit. So like I need to live closer to the ocean
Right.
so I can utilize my yacht.
What's a yacht going to do to my
What's
lifestyle?
a yacht gonna like? Because it's gonna happen.
Yep.
Did you hear what I had said on that podcast where I said you got to be careful what you wish for?
Yeah.
You remember that part?
Yeah.
Because it happened. What I put on my dream board when I was 12 that, to me may not matter because, you're an adult now, but a yacht would have been something like that I would have wished for when I was a kid. It's not realistic.
Careful.
It used to be so easy to throw stuff on your vision board. I remember when I built my first one, I was like just grabbing everything off the internet and throwing it on there because I was like, I was like always like you though. Like for some reason, I always thought that whatever I was going to do is going to be successful.
Yeah.
Even since I was a little kid, I'm like, I can do whatever I
Now,
want.
do you think that's from your parents?
Oh yeah, my parents definitely
Okay.
built me up big
For
time.
sure.
My
Yeah.
parents have never told me that I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, my mom's one of those people that she's like, even when I first started dating Danny, she's like, Robbie's the best dancer in the universe. And I was like, I can't dance? What the But like, she's like my biggest fan and she like overly believes in me.
Yep.
And for some reason, like I believed her growing up.
You are
know?
a great
It's
dancer.
true. Yeah.
And I know that even to this day, you're still a little like when you dance, you don't love to dance in front of people.
It makes me nervous. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm trying to take more notes
What?
from
Yeah,
I'm
the
trying to
teapot.
take
He's got the teapot down.
more notes from Keaton over there with the whole.
Well, I'm
like,
telling you, one of
be
my
confident
most
all
fun
the
nights
time.
ever out at a club. I don't like clubs at all. In fact, I hate them. I had a lot of fun that night because I could tell that you were like, when people look at you, they probably think like, "Oh, that dude's probably the dude in the club, like just killing it."
Yeah. No, I get nervous.
You're in there and
Yeah.
you're just like, dude, I think I said this on your Instagram. You and I were I'm in the bathroom and I'm at the urinal just hanging out. Rob comes in like a couple seconds later and he looks at me with this look on his face, like kind of startled, a little nervous, but also a little excited. He's like, I don't know how I got here. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, there was a dance wall. I'm like, what? Like a dance wall? He's all, yeah, they made me dance through it. I had to dance through it to get in here. And I'm
I'd
like,
be all over that.
I was like, Rob, are you okay? Did you make? He's like, yeah, I'm just a little shook up, but I made it.
So I dance a little bit better when I drink. So
It was to a different place.
It's great, but it's like, dude, you just look like the type of guy that you're confident in everything you do, and even if you're not, you just pretend like. Sometimes it's pretending, like we talked about in the podcast with Keaton. Like sometimes you just have to like fake it till you make it is a real thing on that level.
Yeah.
You just have to like, because you're not faking it to anybody else, you're faking it to yourself.
Yep.
I trick myself all the time that I'm okay with certain things and I just have to power through it and then all of a sudden I'm good. But that's how you get confident, because there's no reason that you and I should ever believe that we should be able to own Porsches and big businesses and all these different things, because you didn't come from money, right?
No.
I didn't come from money.
No.
So when you look at like the how the odds have been stacked against us, there's no reason why, and that goes for everybody at the table. There's no reason we should ever like be fully confident that we were going to accomplish any of these goals. But like you said,
There's no reason we shouldn't have been confident either. Like more people should be.
They really should be. That's like one of my first songs was like, "You're bigger than this, you're better than this" was one of my builds. And it's like, even with her, I've spent so much time like convincing her how dope she is.
Right.
Because I think on the come up, like the big thing for her was when she entered the fitness industry, and this is why she's so great, is everyone said no. And everyone said she doesn't have the look. Like, so I'm like going to sponsorships and they're like, bro, what the fuck do you want me to do with her? She looks like a little boy with weird hair. Like, I don't know.
I had great hair.
But you know what I mean? Like she has like that
you
little,
have great hair,
she has this weird little pixie haircut. She benches like 225.
Yeah, she's not your typical-
she listens to the metal and like everyone's like,
They wanted me they wanted a bikini look.
they wanted sexy.
but did you see
and
that
I
movie that
wore
just came out?
Sweatpants and cut tees.
The WWE movie that just came out, the Fighting with My Family.
No.
It tells the story about Paige. It's actually reminds me a lot of you. I can't remember her last name. She's a girl from Ireland or Scotland. She was like a WWE star, or she was like a little home backyard wrestler back in I can't remember, Ireland or Scotland, and she ended up becoming the WWE diva, like the she dethroned whoever the previous one, and she wasn't. The whole movie is about how she wasn't like this blonde, blue-eyed, like just super curvy. She was the same. She had dark hair, kind of a pixie haircut, and she came in and just thought, you guys should watch the movie. You would love
hell
it.
yeah.
It
was
resonates
that
big
called
time.
again?
It's called Fighting with My Family. And I thought it was just a fake made up story because it's all about WWE and The Rock's in it. It's a real story I found out.
Is this on
And it's
Netflix?
No, it just came out in theaters.
Oh, you went to it.
Page something. I have to look it up. Page, but it is like unreal, the story and how uncanny that is because there's a lot of similarities. But like you were saying, sometimes you have to either trick yourself or you have to help other people see it, right?
Yeah, and that's something that we've always done. Is she's always told me like, you're awesome, and I tell her she's awesome, and that's all you need.
Right.
Like a lot of times you just need one person, whether it's yourself telling you it or it's the person next to you saying that like you can do this. So there's been a lot of times when even competing when she was losing, and all the magazines were turning her down, and it was like, nah, how about we just make YouTube videos and we'll just go around the industry and. Yeah, I mean, I think believing you're great, believing that you're unstoppable, all the stuff I sing in my music. If you want to go check out Rob Bailey and the Hustle Standard.
Are you still making music?
Should I just say it?
Yes.
I haven't.
I'm excited. This is big.
You're dropping a new album or you're retiring. I don't know where you're going with this.
No, I mean, okay, so I've made
How many albums do you have?
5.
Okay.
So I've made music with Charlie Hustle my whole life. I think
I know that's Paige.
Oh,
That's
I
her
recognize
wrestling name. It's
her.
actually
We
Soraya
would be
Jade.
good friends, Paige.
She's actually from England, but you got to watch the movie because it is amazing. Anyways,
So we have to go to theaters.
I think it might be out of theaters now.
All right, cool.
It was like on the.
So it'll be in Redbox. We got Redbox in Montana.
Wait,
I'm ready
people-
for this announcement.
Oh, still
and
have Redbox?
music because I like
World
your
Wide
music.
Web?
Oh, thank you. So I'm. I can't say it yet. You know what? I can say it now.
He's
When's this
still
come out?
doing music.
This
You
will be
can
next
say
Monday.
that.
Next Monday.
Next Monday. All right, cool. So no, I'm sort of low key. Charlie's working on his own solo project, and I haven't told anyone yet, but I guess I'm announcing it now. That
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I sort of have my own solo project.
Dude.
Nice.
Give me one of those.
Congrats.
Give me one of those Rob Bailey screams. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
So it's going to be completely different than the Hustle Standard project.
Yeah.
It's a lot more metal,
Okay.
Aggressive.
very aggressive. I don't even know what to. We're still working through like the sound of it, but I don't know when that's coming out. I don't know. I'm trying to, I'm just having a lot of fun with it.
so is that kind of a turning point for you and what's it, Charlie?
Charlie. So yeah, I mean Charlie. I think the big thing with Charlie is he's another person who impresses the shit out of me. He's been my friend forever. He's another guy who's done stuff for he's done music production and all that for 15 years and it hasn't really worked. And like for me to do something you're passionate with for 15 years and not give up on it and then have it work, that's like the dopest thing ever. So when our album started working and he started working with some other artists, it really started working. But he needs to do his own solo project because he's so talented and there's so much like dope stuff in there that he needs to get out. That he's working on that now. I'm really, really excited for him. So we're tentatively working on a new album, but this album my solo project, which I don't even know what the fuck I'm going to call it, but it's going to sound a lot different than not a lot different, a little different than my normal stuff.
Well, because the current stuff is a little bit of like a hip hop metal vibe.
It's like a hip hop metal electronic-y. Yeah, and we slow down a lot. We have some auto tune on it sometimes.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
This is a sampling of Rob Bailey in the Hustle Standard. That's you.
One is heaven sent. I refuse to waste this time I spent. Help is not on the way. No support here today.
I've never heard this song.
We'll determine.
It's one of my favorite.
What song is this?
Paid in Full.
It's one of my heaviest.
I'm a taking inventory of hearts, not just our trophy. Who will hit their mark?
Dude, I had never heard that. I'm pumped on
better.
this.
This is one of my favorite songs I've ever done.
Now we are paid in full, paid in full, paid in full. Now we are paid.
What is this one called?
Paid in Full, right?
Dude, that's sick. I got goosebumps.
Thank
Look at
you.
that. I legit got goosebumps.
Thank
I'm
you,
pumped
man.
on that.
It felt
like
cool
the
to hear it just
passion.
now.
Dude,
Yeah.
that is cool.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I try to make is I try to make just really passionate music. I think that a lot of times hardcore misses the mark on that. I mean, not all hardcore, but like, like Hatebreed, sometimes they get there, but a lot of times it's just like, oh, they're just yelling things that like that you yell when you make hardcore
You
music.
enjoy yelling though, right? I feel like you love yelling.
I love it. That
Like even in your Instagram videos, you're yelling.
when I'm the most passionate about something, I yell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether I'm angry, whether I'm happy, I feel like you always go to yelling.
Yeah.
And I that's why I do it on my music. And
Have you ever heard of primal chanting?
primal chanting? It's not like a band, it's like a thing, right?
It's a thing, yeah.
Okay.
Primal chanting is basically it's a thing that monks do when they do the Om, like
Okay.
Om. That's a form of primal chanting, and basically it's designed to help you train your vocal cords to be able to go lower. So they do it to a lot of guys go to like clinics and classes to be able to bring their voice down.
Yeah.
And the first thing they teach you is primal chanting. So you get yourself a pillow. I used to actually start my podcast by doing it, like not in here, but these guys don't even know that.
I was gonna say, man.
I would go out. I would go out in my truck, grab a pillow, and scream into it, just like the deepest, lowest scream you can do. You do it over and over and over again, and if you do it on a daily basis, it brings your entire octave of your voice down. So obviously that explains why you have a lower voice because you do a lot of screaming.
I scream a lot. I think the other thing about my music specifically is traditionally we're saying screaming, but I actually don't scream. So like my music is yelling.
Yeah.
And screaming is like a talent that you can do that like I haven't mastered screaming. So I'm yelling. So I think a lot of times people can yell with me.
Right.
And a lot of times hit the notes that I hit. And like if you yell along with my music, a lot of times you can sound very similar
I
to
actually
me.
never thought about that.
But like-
Screamo was really hard to sing to.
But like so when you're listening to like Memphis May Fire or something like that, and they're hitting like crazy highs, I just don't sing those parts in the car because I can't get there. But like my vocal range is I think so attainable for the average person that like if you can fight with your girlfriend, you can sing Rob Bailey's music. So
that's awesome.
I think between the passion and then how relatable things are, and I also don't overcomplicate my lyrics.
Yeah.
Because you're lifting weights, you're playing sports, I don't need to use giant words.
You can tell a story in just a few words.
Yeah, and I can be repetitive and I can build things with passion in my voice rather than like overwhelming you with lyrical content. So,
dude, that's
Can I
rad.
point something out real quick that I'm totally loving here? Dana gets so excited and smiles every time you talk about something like your accomplishment or your music or anything. And I love that about, your guys' relationship.
And
There's
Rob,
something huge
dude,
to
Rob
this.
on the flip side of that, every time Dana started talking, you could
Right.
see he wanted to like chime in and be like,
Yeah.
build her up. That's a powerful relationship.
Yeah. I also can't talk about her a lot without crying. Full disclosure.
choked up?
Like, there's a lot of times that we're on stage and I'll have to talk about, almost getting there right now,
Yeah.
but I'll have to talk about her a little bit. And like, I'm like, fuck, we're on stage in front of
we
1,000
are a
people
lot-
and I'm
we
about
are
to
a lot
cry.
alike. I
And
get
I'm
the
supposed to
same
be a
way.
monster. Yeah.
I get choked up with the dumbest things.
Yeah.
If I talk about my family,
Yep.
if I talk about, dude, yeah, it's funny.
When you were talking about how she got a lot of no's and you guys avoided the no's or you guys just powered through them, you didn't hear them, you focused on what she wanted. Watching the two of you kind of talk about that shares, like, I could feel the pain in it, but also like the victory from it. I wish that the listeners could see that. I mean,
you guys
there-
both
this
have a
is-
very
there's
like,
a lot
don't
to be
tell me
said.
I can't do it
Yeah.
attitude. Like,
That goes with the vegan thing. That like everything that we do is like, you tell us we can't do something and like,
Yeah.
give me 6 months.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
prove
I'm
to you
wired
why
that
we can do
way.
it better than you.
Yeah.
That's
But
amazing.
I think so many people, especially at least just coming from fitness background, people will just do whatever everyone else is doing. And I didn't want to fit in. And it didn't work for a very long time, but us just not playing the same route and not like, I don't know how many times I've been told that I need to go get a boob job otherwise so I could place better. Cause I would get marked down because I'm more masculine looking because I have a chest, not
Yeah.
boobs. And it was just like, finally, like more so obviously having that person right next to me telling me like, do you actually want them or are you getting them because someone else is telling you? And that's so many people are like, oh, well, this person's telling me I'll do better if I do this. And it was just being stubborn and just try to go my own way because I don't want them.
You guys seem like you're
I like
so
to
much
bench.
more than just being like you're so much more than just being a support for each other. You guys are like each other's cheerleaders and you're able to lift each other up but yet not take away from who each of you are individually. I love that. I can see why Dave introduced you guys the way that he did, being these most powerful couples, everything. But we kind of grazed over something I didn't know. Did you win an Olympia?
I did. I
Oh
won
my gosh.
the first ever women's physique Olympia. I actually won the first ever. Oh, no.
that's a
That is incredible.
So after competing for 8 to 10 years and being last place every single year, they created a division between figure and bodybuilding, which is physique. And it was like one of those things where I was like, that division, they created that for me. So whatever the first show is, I'm going to do it. We did everything. We drove down to North Carolina. And I was actually the first pro ever in history for my division and then won the first Olympia.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
congratulations. That really is.
Yeah,
How long
so-
ago was that?
That was 2013.
That is awesome.
Can I ask Rob a question?
Yeah.
So my wife's probably going to kill me for this if she hears it, which she doesn't regularly listen, so I think we're safe. But you said that you take the time to really build her up, right?
Yeah.
My wife goes to the gym 2-3 times a day. I think she's a 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
But she has this thing in her head that she feels like she's 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly telling her like, you look like 95% of women want to look like.
Yeah.
But she doesn't feel that way. So how do you
All of our
help
wives are
her
that
feel
way.
that way? You know what I mean? What do you take away from it that makes you feel that way that hopefully I can take to my wife? You know what I mean?
The same as her. Like for a long time, I hated. Like I had such horrible body dysmorphia, and hated there were years of my life where I didn't wear shorts because, like in high school and college, because my legs were too big. I played soccer, so they were big. And now all I want to do is make them bigger. But it's a combination of someone next to you telling you, I like the way you look beautiful just the way you are. Like that constant repetition, you start believing in it yourself. And I don't know, it was maybe like 5 years something finally clicked and confidence, like I can do whatever I want. And once you get that confidence, like you literally, whatever goal you set, people that are confident can accomplish anything.
That's all I want for my
Literally.
wife, you know?
And it's something that like doesn't stay either.
I'm trying to
It's
think what
something-
happened.
I don't even know. It's
Because there was a changing point. So there was a point in time.
Yeah, you
and
started to believe it.
I love I remember this fucking, when all your friends were getting married, that sucked. Remember that?
Yeah, that sucked.
So like, this is still something that's like it pisses me off a lot. And it pisses me off just for like all the reasons. I'm not mad at somebody, but like watching her get ready for weddings, and it's when she was lifting and she was starting to get popular, but like she didn't know how her body that people loved. Like, dude, we were crushing it on YouTube. Like, upload a video, next day 50,000 views, positive. But like she didn't know how to transition into like putting on a bridesmaid dress. And she'd look at herself and just like fucking cry. And like, you remember that, and it was like a solid year of it, dude. And it was just painful for me to watch, because it was like, no, you're really, really, really dope. Like, you are cooler than anyone at that fucking wedding. Like, the world loves you. I love you. Like, stop. But like, I don't know what, it was right after that something clicked. And it was like, dude, painful to watch, man.
I remember what wedding, that was my sister's wedding.
Yeah. And like,
I dealt with like not being okay with my chest for my entire life. And then I don't know what it was, but once that switched, that's like my favorite thing about me. And I think it was a lot of other females coming up to me, like thanking me that I didn't go that route. And like, I'm not against like surgeries, and like, you have to do it for you.
Yeah.
As soon as you make a decision based on someone else telling you or someone else's opinion, or because you think someone else is going to like it better, you've just lost yourself. And now like all those parts of me that I hated are my favorite parts of my body, which is like my chest and my legs. And
so staying true to yourself and listening to the people who really truly know you,
and I
believe in you, allowed you to eventually accept that.
For sure him, and I think it was the other females that like, that I could relate to, because there was other girls that like, you know what, like, I don't want to put things underneath my skin because this judge tells me I'll do better. Like, I don't want to. It's if you don't actually want to do it for yourself, then you're making the wrong decision.
Do you think you would have got to that point if you had not been true to yourself? You think you would have been able to,
I probably would have like scored better in figure a little bit. But I think I would have been
being able to, like how he was saying, something changed, right?
Yeah.
And you started to be confident in those things. Because I mean, growth is uncomfortable. I mean, your dress didn't fit the same, and that you get that. But for women, I think it's to another level. Like a guy, his pants fit differently. You just kind of deal with it. But women, I mean, that's a big thing.
Well, it was like mostly just getting dressed in real clothes. Like, I felt confident in gym clothes, but you put me in like a dress, and I'm like I can't
every
feel this,
Sunday.
like
Every Sunday. That's my wife. I'm like, you look great. You look awesome, And she's like tearing dresses off and trying other ones on.
That's
I just want my wife to feel
Ashley
dope.
and Lindley.
I think you know what it was? It was probably because I was putting out so much content, and then like, dude, I was driving like, I used to look, not that I look great now, but like really dark circles on, because I would drive her to every single event. If it was within 10 hours, cool. I'm in the car. I would drive her there, and then she would be in a tank top, and just people would flock to her. So it was like, it was my positive support. It was the internet supporting her. It was other females coming up and supporting her. So it was like this big group effort of everyone coming together, like cheering for her. So it took a lot.
And it wasn't all positive. So like, I got a lot for many years of like,
can't imagine
people
the internet
telling me how gross and disgusting I am, and I still get it. But like, when like you obviously turn numb to things like that. You can literally tell me anything you want. Nothing phases me anymore. So that probably actually helped too. It is just like just a dead horse. Like, it doesn't matter anymore.
That's the best feeling in the world. It really, when you get to the point where you just
like,
you legitimately, it's one thing to say I don't care, but when you legitimately don't care, it is really like the most liberating feeling.
And it does something it's the best feeling in the entire world. And if I could like gift that to like everyone, not just females, but like everyone, the ability to like feel comfortable in your own skin, no matter where you're at, what you're wearing, like, and it also, like, I can't say like I'm always like that too. Like, there's ups and downs, and it's something that you have to work with all the time. But at this point, like, I just love everything.
Here's what I think would help Heidi and other people when they start trying to wrap their head around like what other people think about them. People don't think about us. All they care about is what we think about them.
Yeah.
When you're talking to somebody or somebody sees you, they are not thinking what you look like or what you are. All they are thinking about is, what's this person thinking about me?
Exactly.
And so if you can turn that in and use it, like leverage it almost, and kind of like own the situation and realize like, I know you're not thinking about me. You could give two shits about what I look like or what I'm wearing. All you care about is what I think about you. So all of a sudden you turn the table and start building that person up or whatever you're going to do with them. You take control of the situation immediately. That is like the trick to life. That is the trick to social science is just understanding that people don't really care about you, or they don't think about you the way that you think they think about you.
Yeah.
They're thinking about you exactly the way that you think they're thinking about you. It's
As
so
confusing
yeah,
as
it is
that
so
sounds.
confusing,
Yeah.
but it is the most powerful thing I ever learned. I'm telling you, it's crazy. And I feel like a lot of people that struggle with confidence and struggle with issues like that, if they could just take a second and realize that they could control the situation with just the flip of a switch, by just realizing that nobody's really thinking about what you think they're thinking about.
You know what? I would love to ask her a question. Maybe we make it a checklist or whatever, but we don't have a lot of women on here usually. And, you having gone through that.
Wait, hold on, back up. Is she our first female guest?
I want to say she is.
Holy,
Yeah.
welcome. What do we got? Can bring him Barry Rob Bailey or something.
I'm running out.
You should have. Wow, that's actually a big deal. And I don't say that because we are not sexist by any means. We have beautiful wives, but it's just we're surrounded by such alpha males. And so our natural selection is just, our closest circle. Hey, you want to be on the podcast? This is awesome.
Alpha woman.
You made it, the alpha woman.
So what tip would you give to listeners if you could go back in time and share what you know about yourself and your confidence to your younger you? What would you share that somebody could apply in their life? Start applying or...
Well, mine would be more of like start earlier, at least with lifting, because what it has done for me.
Yeah.
I just wish I got into lifting, but that was like in the 90s when I was growing up. I graduated in 2001.
You born in 84?
83.
83, you too?
83. I just wish I got into fitness earlier. Obviously I was fit, but in a sports kind of way, but I ate whatever I wanted. And I didn't train. I just ran to stay in shape, mostly so I wouldn't die on the field. But I wish I started training earlier, because that's what developed everything and who I am and where I am. Just it dedication to something and sticking to something and figuring out goals and accomplishing them. Everything you do in a gym is you can relate it to life and just goal setting in general. Just lifting. I think everybody should be in the gym.
Let's talk about that for a second, because the purpose of this podcast, I actually just realized I don't follow you, so I'm sorry. I'm going to follow you right now. Is it going to get you to 2 million?
Please, hopefully.
Oh, that would be so amazing. But
Could you imagine?
that would be amazing. Hopefully after the podcast airs, you'll hit 2 million, because we actually have a ton of listeners. The first day that we launched this podcast, we hit number 4 in the world.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Four and then
number
number one in business.
Number 1 in business for a couple weeks straight, and then number 4 in the world.
Wow.
It was crazy. We started asking ourselves, what's going on here? Why are people so into this? It's because we give very basic, simple steps. We do not like to talk about big, set goals, do this, do that. No. We talk about what are you going to do right now? What are you going to go write down after you listen to this podcast that you're actually going to do tomorrow? Because it's way easier to start doing something today or tomorrow than it is to say, this year I'm going to be the best version of me by, whatever, some big lofty goal. You can't do that. We win this fight one little victory at a time. And that is literally why we call it the checklist, because we create these items that we allow people like Rob. You listened, you had your vision board before, and we were talking about that. But long story short, you went back, pulled your vision board out and said, bam, I want to put a Porsche on there. Dude, within a month or two,
I got a call and got a car that I didn't even think I was able to get.
it's insane, dude.
You have to be on a list.
GT2?
GT2 RS, yes. So I
were on it.
I put a GT3 RS, a used old one.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, that's affordable. I can get that. And then literally 2 weeks later, I got a call and was like, hey, have you ever considered getting a GT2 RS? Blah, blah, blah. We're a dealership that really wants to work with you. And I was like, you're overcharging all those fees. And it was it worked out. And now it's in my garage.
And that all happened within a couple of months.
And that's how it is. I mean, at this point in time with everything, whatever I put on there is, it's going to happen,
right? Hands
down. So I just got to be careful with what I put on there.
I'm the same way, dude.
Yeah.
I'm very careful with what I put on my
And I got to make it happen. And that's why, when we swapped clothes, backstage, I went down to my underwear. I don't know if I told you that.
I heard after.
So part of my vision board is I've just being around her all the time, and she's in such phenomenal shape, and then being around like other male fitness models, like I don't, you know, I'm more of like a strong man look, and I've never really felt confident with my shirt off. You know, like just like
A really in shape, strong.
I was,
Thanks, baby.
just so you guys know, I was blown away when I heard this. Like Rob tells me after the fact, he's like, I was really uncomfortable throwing my script down.
So that was one of the
like,
things.
What?
And I, on my vision board,
wouldn't have
it's
guessed
simple,
that.
but it's like I want to just wear tank tops more.
Yeah.
Like that's all I want. Like if I can just feel comfortable, because I feel like when I wear a tank top, there's so many things coming at. I'm like, people are thinking I'm trying to look big, or like they're going to judge the size of my arms, or like stupid
Right,
shit.
yeah.
So part of my thing, and that's when you're like, oh, let me try your clothes on. And I was like, oh my God.
So for those of you who don't know, we were at the Heavy Academy last month,
and
or a
everybody's
month ago.
there, dude.
Yeah.
I just met Man Spot.
We're in the green room,
Wife
and
Spot.
Lots of people.
Marcus.
Andy Frizella, my wife.
I walked in.
Like,
Everyone's there.
there's probably a good 20 people. And
high level people.
yeah, definitely high level
Yeah.
people. And I just jokingly, Rob has this sense of fashion that's awesome. I was like, dude, let me try your clothes on.
And I was like, now's your chance, Rob, the vision board. So I just took off all my
But
clothes.
you didn't hesitate. You were just bam, like, okay, I got this. Like I
felt like I
just-
hesitated
I
for a while in my
literally
head.
did no, dude. I felt like you had just swapped clothes with somebody like the hour before. Like you were just like, it
But you
was
felt how
natural.
wet my clothes were
Dude,
because I
they
was
were-
sweating because I was nervous.
Your shirt was drenched.
Yeah.
Dude. So yes, that's I think that's good. I think people like to. It's good for people to see that side of you.
Yeah.
Because it helps them understand, like, okay, like this is real. He's
Yeah.
a real person. I'm a real person. I can relate to him,
Yeah.
and it makes you seem not so far away.
Yeah.
Like because when you look at high profile successful people, I think the first thing people tend to think is like, how do I get there? Or I'll never get there. You're way closer than you think. And this
Yeah.
message is to the listeners, like you are at the tipping point, especially if you're listening to this and listening to things like this, you're already doing the things
You're not
that
far.
are going to help you get there. Like, right?
You're not far at all.
You're not far.
Yeah.
You're so much closer than you think. And so,
Or even there. You could already be there, but you're too blind in the way you see yourself.
But it's
I've
also
been
like, what
there.
is there? We can
Right.
go that
Yeah,
way
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. I was cleaning up shit 4 days ago from a toilet that froze and overflowed. Like, and thinking to myself, like, you know, I have, you know, on the other side of this wall is a $450,000 car. I paid
Yeah.
for it in cash, and I'm cleaning up shit right now. It's all over my shoes. It's like, you know, and it's like, so what is there? You know, I mean, I don't.
the frozen shit sound.
But like for me, being there is being happy in life.
Yeah.
And like truly being happy in life, and then being able to operate with freedom, whatever that freedom means to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at.
Have you listened to The Blissful Dissatisfaction by Ed Milet?
No.
You need to do that because that explains what you just said. He breaks it down in about 30 minutes, talks about like being happy with where you're at,
Yeah.
but not fully satisfied. Like
Yes.
knowing that you've got more, but you have to freaking enjoy the ride because the problem is if you don't enjoy it along the way, you'll get there, wherever there is, and you'll have not brought yourself with you.
Yeah.
Because
Right,
all of
the
a sudden,
journey.
yeah, you don't like enjoy the victories along the way. So I've gotten to the point in my life where I shouldn't slow down and enjoy the things sometimes because my schedule's so busy, but I do, and it's the best. Like I just take dude, one of my favorite things to do is break away from work for like 30 minutes during the day when I shouldn't. I'll go work on my remote control car. I got into remote control cars recently. I was way into one as a
You've
little
got
kid.
a helicopter. You've got an airplane.
Yes.
You've got side by sides.
I go work on a remote control car.
I'm not going to drive. I mean, I drove his remote control car on Sunday, and it was incredible.
It's like driving a full blown trophy truck.
It was
goes like 80 miles
awesome.
an hour.
But
so
do you have one of those too when you play with the toy one?
Dude, I'm telling you, you have to learn how to just
not
appreciate these
really.
little wins along the way. And don't forget that, like, look back at your childhood and look at the things that you loved. You may think that you don't really love them anymore. Give them another chance.
Swing
I'm telling
sets.
you, remote control cars, trains.
I
swing
love
sets.
swing sets.
Yes.
I have an adult one in my backyard.
Really?
An adult.
It's
set, yeah.
okay to love the things that you loved as a child now.
Yeah.
I think so like society kind of pushes us to the point where it's like you're grown up now.
Yeah.
You can't swing on the swing set. You can't do any of that stuff. What did you love when you were a kid? Anything.
Animals.
What were you into?
He-Man.
Man, I was into a lot of stuff. I think building dirt jumps was one of my favorite
Yes.
things.
Dude, I can see it right now.
Yeah.
You would
For a bike?
kick some ass out there
Yeah,
building some
BMX
dirt jumps.
Yeah. I didn't really even like as much jumping the dirt bikes or jumping
Just
BMX
building the
bikes or
jumps.
anything. I really just like building jumps, like
Yeah.
moving around dirt, which is why I recently got a Bobcat.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like
Tractors are the best.
I'm always just moving stuff around the yard.
Speaking of that, I can't say much about it, but we will be doing something on TV soon where we are doing the Bobcat Olympics, and you're involved. Andy and Sal are involved, and this might even become something
Yes, I'm in.
Kenny's in. This might become
love a
something that actually
tractor.
turns into a TV series. That's all I can say, and I probably shouldn't have said that, but
Tractor's gone wild.
Tractor's gone wild.
I'm in.
Yours is new.
Yeah, I got like a 1986 skid steer in my backyard. If
Bro.
you really want some competition,
You're in.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. Like,
I love
it's-
my tractors.
People don't realize how therapeutic hard work is. Not just driving a skid steer, but whatever. But I think that's why you like moving dirt, because it's like you're building something, you're creating something.
Yeah.
Don't forget to let yourself create stuff, especially if you're a creative person.
Huge.
That's where I've gotten to the point where that's why I'm building this remote control car again. And they make these like jumps out of this kinetic sand that you can make like your own little toy jumps. Dude, I've just like. I'm ordering it like quietly, and I'm like sneaking through the kids aisle at the store and like buying this
Yeah.
stuff because it's like technically I shouldn't be into that because I've outgrown it. Nope.
No, you're fine.
Dude, don't forget to create. Like that is one of the biggest, most important. In fact, that's number. I'm going to give this. So obviously it's a checklist, right? We give checklist items. Checklist item number 1. I'm actually gonna. I already wrote one down, but I'm gonna put it
Wait,
down
can
here.
you clarify? So if you went back in time,
Man.
if you
mine
went back
was
in
not a
time,
good one.
what advice would you give yourself?
No, I want to know what you're
that could be-
into first as a kid, and then you can give your advice.
Yeah, tell us.
What was
that.
your childhood passion?
Oh, it was just sports. I love soccer. So I would definitely, I mean, like
Would you play more soccer if you could?
Oh yeah, I was, when we lived in PA, I was still playing with like some of my old college or high school friends.
Does that body play soccer well now?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone just hits me and falls over.
That's awesome.
or they're like terrified of me.
Yeah.
So
You
it
actually have to be a
definitely-
great soccer
it-
player. And you're
Either way,
fast,
win-win.
right? I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
she's still fast
Still
too.
fast.
Rob, do you
yeah.
play
Do I play what?
soccer?
No.
Football.
In fact, I hate soccer.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
I hate it.
I'm not good at. I'm very physical.
Yes.
And soccer players are generally.
Oh, the guys are the
They do that
worst.
faking
They
stuff.
fall
Yes.
over.
So, like, I just, like,
girls
rock
don't do
people.
that. Girls, it's only guys soccer.
Girls are tough soccer players.
Yeah, girls don't do
I don't
the
have
whole
the
faking thing.
I don't have the attention span for it because when I get the ball, I want like to like kick it. You know what I mean? And somebody takes it from me within like a split second. On my mission, that was all we played in South America was soccer.
And they
I
were
got
really
so
good.
frustrated because these little Latino kids come in, zing, gone, ball's gone. I don't see it again for another 30 minutes.
Brutal.
It's super frustrating. So. Let's do this real quick. We're going to start getting into the checklist items because we want people to have takeaways from this. I feel like you guys could probably fill a book with checklist items. So be thinking, and I'm going to tell you a couple first, and they can be totally random off the wall. Like, in fact, my first one is off the wall. I got a bag of clothespins here, guys, and I am going to share this with you because this is something I've done for a long time that I actually kind of forgot about. I hadn't done it for maybe 6 months. It's probably actually been like a year or so. So anytime you get in my truck, you're going to see a bag of clothespins. These are some small wooden ones that I just found that I'm super pumped on. In the past, it was the big like plastic ones that you get at Walmart. So did you know that in your ear, you have pressure points that are connected to your nervous system?
I was not aware.
Dude, so get this.
Whoa.
Right here. We'll post this picture online, but I'm showing them a picture right now of an ear. Starting at the top, moving down to the bottom, it goes 1 through 6. So basically, if you're listening, grab the top part of your ear, kind of like that like cartilage part. That's area number 1. And that's directly connected to your back and shoulders. Like this is Chinese reflexology. This is proven to actually like the nerve endings go to your ear, to your central nervous system. You move down and you got number 2, which is your organs.
I need that one.
Number 3, I'm about to show you this because this is going to blow you away. Number 3 is your joints. Number 4, and if you're listening, just take your hands and literally just move down your ear about like one finger width at a time. So 4 is your joints. And that's basically going to be directly straight across from your like ear hole. Go down to number 5, that's connected to your digestion. Number 6, the very bottom, like where you would pierce your ear, that's your head and your heart. Now buckle up, guys. You're going to enjoy this. I have this bag of paper clips. They're little wooden ones you can get on Amazon. Type in mini wood paper clips, and it's like $6 for the bag. So you can pull your headphones off for a second and just put these. The best place to start is on your earlobe where your like earrings would be, and find kind of the meaty part. It'll be really tender at first, so just kind of play around. We're gonna go number 6, so straight to the bottom. So, yeah, so you'll find an area in there. The more you play around,
How?
yeah,
I don't like that at all.
I'm telling
Mine
you.
broke already.
How did you do that? You have ears of steel. So you'll find it. Just play around with different spots, and you'll find that there's an area there where it's like bearable. It's kind of like a numb, dull pain. You guys got enough?
For the listeners, we're going to post this on our Instagram. So if you're looking for the visual,
is not
it will be posted on the
Yeah.
Instagram.
So put them on both earlobes right there or wherever.
This is the
as long as you can bear it.
tension.
And you might start with like being able to have like maybe a second at a time.
Broke another one. I don't know.
Wow, I don't know. I haven't broken one.
Giant lobes.
My ears.
So do you have them on both ears right now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so for the listeners, take your fingers and just really press tight on your earlobes and hold it for a good 30 seconds. Do it as long as you can bear and leave it there for a second.
I can't get the damn thing on.
So leave it there as long as you can
Some
bear
of
it.
these are sharper than others.
Oh, it's because I broke it.
You guys are a bunch of sissies.
I'm telling you, this is the best thing in the world. Like the best thing in the world to do. So this one's connected directly to your head and your heart. So basically the lower earlobe area.
It hurts.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
Ready? Now pull them off and set them down. Notice how it connects back to your spine and your upper back. Like you get this weird wave of tension release. So if you do this 5 or 6 times, you get to the point where you want to leave it on there for about a minute. Mm-hmm. I leave them on there forever. I leave them like 5 minutes, but there's certain parts of my ears that are way too tender that I can't do. And you start cycling up your ear and start doing these different locations. The top parts of your ear, in fact, you can do it right now. They're not as sensitive. So let's go to number 1, which is basically the very top of your cartilage on your ear.
Your back and shoulders.
That one's connected directly to your back and shoulders. That one, you can put it on all day and it shouldn't, now here's the deal. If it's really tender, that means that you might have some issues in that area. Is it tender? But the bottom wasn't. Your head and your heart wasn't? So that's amazing. I rarely see people, but that actually makes sense. Do you have issues with your back and shoulders?
Mine are really tender. They don't feel good at all.
No.
So the top of your ear does?
I broke.
Yeah, we got plenty of them. So this is reflexology.
Have you done your foot before?
I've done my foot. You can't really put the pressure point on your foot.
Right.
But the reason why I'm
Similar?
telling everybody about this, it's similar, but you have to have somebody else basically do the
Got it.
reflexology positions on your
Yeah.
foot, and they're a lot harder to find. The ones on your foot are connected to your stomach, your kidney, all these different things. These ones, you can literally be driving in your car, clip them on your ears for a second, as long as you can bear it, and then take them off. And then cycle them on and off, and all of a sudden you'll start to find that it's not as tender the next day. And these different spots that you start doing it in are less tender. Like I can almost do my full ear now, and I don't have, that it's all bearable. And I feel through my body right now, and everything feels fantastic.
Where's your most tender spot?
I don't have any.
None?
No.
Dude, I can barely keep
My
this
lower
on.
back was killing me for the last month and a half. I started doing this again. Like I remembered it about a week ago. My lower back pains are gone. Maybe it's voodoo, maybe it's witchcraft, but I believe that it's actually science of reflexology, and it actually works to the point where it can heal you. Crazy.
All right.
Well, it helps
You
you.
guys are welcome to take as many of these things as you want. And as you drive or do whatever you're doing, just start by doing, if you can only do 30 seconds at a time or whatever it is, put them on, hold them in that spot, and try these different locations. And I'll send you guys this text so you have it. But it's pretty damn impressive what it'll do to you. And that's checklist item number 1. So if you're a listener, best place to find this after you listen to this podcast, go to the Heavy Checklist Instagram. We will post this for you so you can see what the hell we're talking about, because it's really hard to be visual right now. But this is one of my favorite things in the world. It is the ultimate way to just unleash a lot of pressure at once. It's the quickest way. It's like, to me, it's almost like the feeling of going and getting a full body massage after doing this for like 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah. So I'm telling you, give it a shot.
All right.
People are always skeptical, but you can feel how sensitive
I
it
feel,
is, right?
yeah. I feel something.
You'll find that the more you treat it, the less sensitive it is. And that if you can directly correlate that to whatever part of your body that is.
You feel instant relief.
Yes. I feel to the point where you're not going to feel instant relief right now, day one, because you're just barely starting to do this.
Right.
But you'll get to the point where after a couple of days and you're being real with yourself and you're not taking it off after 10 seconds, it helps you. Like maybe I don't know if it's going to, fix a broken back, but it is going to help you relieve those tender muscles. So pretty cool stuff. That's checklist item number 1, guys. Learn the reflexology in your ear. Grab yourself some paper clips or some clothespins and just freaking start playing with it. You can't hurt yourself. So
I have some in my pocket now.
yeah,
Try it.
you're going to give it a shot. So I'm super pumped on that. So that's checklist item number 1. Checklist item number 2 is the one that we just talked about, which is don't forget to create. Go create something. Go build something. I don't care if it's a dirt jump in your backyard or, go get your kids Legos and build something. Just build something with your hands. I cannot stress this enough, and I talk to people all the time about it.
That's why I love my motorcycle so much, man. That's the only thing that keeps me sane during the winters is going in the garage and tinkering with the Harleys,
It really, there is something so gratifying about building something.
Yes.
Dana, I think you feel that probably on a deeper level, which is building your body.
Yeah.
Like you legitimately are creating your body. You're to the point where you know that if you do X, Y, Z, your body's going to go whoop, 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 and just adjust and change, right?
Yep.
Which is pretty damn cool. Not everybody has that luxury because we haven't all trained our body. Like, it's going to take me a while to say, yeah, I want like bigger shoulders or bigger arms. But when you're diligent with it, and I'm not saying that you're like some superhero, you're just more diligent. You work harder than everybody else, flat out. That's what it is. So that's item number 2. Item number 3 is open for you guys to add. Anything that you feel like has helped you feel happy, feel fulfilled, achieve success. I don't care. I don't care if it's drinking more water. I don't care what it is.
I'd say no one's opinion matters.
Yeah. That's
Like,
That's really hard. That's hard.
like
I mean,
at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, I'm just coming from my background of
Yeah.
like people's opinions on like what I look like and stuff. No one's opinion matters. Be true to yourself. And it always comes like, I stayed true to myself for 10 years and it worked out.
how do you
finally.
get over that? Because I look at like even like, you know, Keaton's and Dave's posts, like with people like commenting on their stuff, and I'm like pissed off. It's like the stuff they say to these guys. I'm like, they have no idea who they are. They've never met them in person, and then people just talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get over that? Because I mean, and maybe you can hop in too, maybe you can, but that, I mean, it makes me mad, you know?
I texted you the other day and I was like, bro, how do you deal with people in your posts? Like watching his post, like they can say stuff on my post, but watching his, I was like,
Yeah.
what is this? Like, why are these people like this?
You know what? Like, Dave and I talk about this a lot, usually when it's just him and I, because I don't think a lot of people really understand like what that does to you when you put stuff out there that's like, hey man, I had a wonderful day and I love my car. And then all of a sudden it changes to, you're a fat piece of shit. I hate you. How
you
dare
rich,
you talk
you rich
about
sellout. You only had a good day because you have TV money.
I hope you lose your arms. Like it's crazy, but like this is what I finally got to outside of the fact of what Dana just said. Like, don't really care what people say. I got to this point and I thought, I don't think I've ever met anyone that talks shit to me or anyone else
That know
that
you.
is that is doing better than myself.
No.
And so I'm okay with it. If I have a lot of people talking shit on me, I'm okay because they're not doing better than I am. Period. End of story. And wherever you're at in your life, like if what somebody says to you bothers you and it bothers you so much that it gets you upset and that then you go and attack them, they're probably doing better than you. And I'm at the place in my life now, obviously I'm really happy, you know, we're talking about all these things, but like I genuinely have never met someone that's one, successful, or two, that's happy, that's talking bad about anyone else. I just haven't. And I mean, there's a million things I could say about people. Maybe I don't like, maybe I think, but I don't care. I genuinely don't care. So as soon as I put that in the perspective and I see people like saying the craziest shit that they say, you know, I'm like, man, that sucks for you. I'm really sorry that you're such in a
like
shitty position that you have to say that about me. You know, the thing that we did too, like last time we were together, they came and stayed at my house and we did a picture with us. And Dana's like shredded and Rob and I are like, oh, we're just these big guys in the background. And I put it up. I don't even remember what I said. I said something like, just how much I love these guys, whatever. And everybody was like, oh, who's that dude in the middle? And they were talking shit on her. And right away, I'm like, I get defensive. So I'm like, no, you're not going to say that about her. And she was like, oh, you think I care? Like those people that are talking bad, not one of those people have ever or will ever do better than what I'm doing right now at this moment. And as soon as I actually internalized that, I was like, I'm good.
Well, let me ask you this. Yeah, that is definitely worth an applause. But let me ask you this. Let's say you had a wedding or a very important like family event and you've got somebody there who has the microphone and they just keep blurting out like really shitty things, like really bad things to ruin the mood, ruin the party. Like I've been at a wedding once where actually the girl's uncle was in the back and he thought he was funny, but he was to the point where he was like saying such raunchy things about her that it was making her seem like really trashy. They took the microphone from him. Why wouldn't you do the same thing in your own personal life? Why would you give anybody a microphone? Why would you give them a platform?
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's the way I deal with it because I personally really, really just don't care. But what I don't want to have happen is have people feel either bad for me or feel like it's affecting me and feel like it's okay to be affected by that kind of stuff. So all I do is just delete it. I just don't let it live for even like, if you say anything negative on my post, you're just blocked. And the reason for that is
give
because
them kissy face.
yeah, you can get like yeah, that's the thing. You can either kill them with kindness or just be completely apathetic towards them. They don't exist. Take the microphone. As soon as you take the microphone, what do they have?
Dude, I used to DJ, like Utah State would have these massive parties, right? It'd be like 4,000 or 5,000 people. And I would just have the crowd just freaking moving and just the emotion in the crowd and seeing them like shift and do exactly what I tell them to do. And I would come home like, and I'd just be like stoked and I'd be amped. And then I'd get on Twitter and there was like one asshole that was like, DJ Marcus Swing sucks. He's so dumb. And dude, it would take me from like the 5,000 people mark to like everyone going crazy to that one person that just killed it. And it used to affect me a lot, you know?
Dude, the thing that it's so funny how we all deal with it differently. But the one of the things that got to me was that I learned that if I really respect somebody, their opinion does affect me. I allow that too. And so it's good and bad. Like for a long time, I wouldn't accept really, you know, if somebody said something nice, like we talked about this on one of the podcasts, somebody gives you a compliment, accept it like a gift, right? Open it, thank them for that. But I learned that there's certain people that can say really, really nice things, and it can take me to like another level. Like, oh, I feel amazing, like Superman, like how you two lift each other up. But if those same people were to do something the other way, so you have to be careful who you're listening to, because your question or your statement was like, you know, you don't listen to anybody or
What that really is confidence. And I think some of the things that we've learned is it's okay to not always be like, you're not ever going to be fully confident in everything.
No.
There's look at the person that you envy the most. They probably struggle with things just like you. No, not probably. They do struggle with things just like you do. Am I right?
Yes.
You ever met your heroes? Like they say don't meet your heroes, right? Because it's when you meet them, you realize like, oh, they're not a super, not a super person after all. Like it's real. So I don't want, one of my biggest things that I try to do with the listeners here is just like level the playing field. We're all on the same plane here. It's just a matter of like, what are you doing to make yourself feel better? Doesn't matter. It like literally doesn't matter what anybody else sees of you, thinks of you, like talks about you. It doesn't matter. Do you feel good? Like you were saying, do you want boobs? Do you not want boobs? Like, okay, you don't, great. Don't get them. Do you want like whatever it is? You do not have to do anything for anybody else. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways today because we get so freaking caught up. I know that like you're talking about Heidi, your wife, my wife, the same thing. Yeah. I'm constantly like pounding into Ashley's head. Like it doesn't, that kind of pounding too. I am constantly, and constantly telling her like, it doesn't matter. And I do the same thing that you did. I learned this trick actually early in my marriage that the more I build her up, the better my life is.
100.
Like
100.
But like almost to an extreme. And you probably learned this too. You obviously have, because your wife is like, she feels like she's queen of the world because you've made her feel that way. Right. I think there's a lot of newlyweds that listen to this or like younger dudes. Like a big tip for you, start building your wife up right now. Right?
Build each other up.
Build each other up. Right.
All my women that are with
That's true. Now, there are actually a lot of housewives that listen to this.
But like you got to build each other up.
You need the same thing.
Yeah.
Back your man.
I think that's the one like dangerous part that we've had here and there is like when she gets ready for a show, it's 18 weeks. So like for 18 weeks, like
25
or
to
whatever,
30.
I don't get any attention.
It's like half a year.
Oh, it's like 5 months.
It's a long time, but I think the big
You say
problem
you
is
don't
there.
get any?
Well, like that too, but like I'm supporting her and I'm like, like every single day is like, okay, let's keep you on your diet. You look awesome. You're
It's the
doing so
Dana
good.
show for
It's the Dana
6
show.
months.
And then like you get to the end of it and you're like, if she doesn't say thank you or like give something back. So it's like, same thing. Like if you told your wife she's beautiful all the time and she was never like, that's a really good beard. After a while you'd be like, so like, do you, so it's definitely a two-way street.
Do you know how my wife does it? Because my wife compliments me like, whatever. But I think she really shows me how much she cares about me and what she thinks about me by going along with my harebrained ideas.
Yeah.
The bullshit that I come up with, and she's like, let's do it.
Same here. She's never like, that's a bad idea.
She's just with
She
it.
never stops me. She's always
crazy,
like,
dude?
So what does that mean for us? Because we're going to do it. So, but like never says that's a bad idea.
What's the collateral damage?
Like she's already bought in before anybody else. In fact, sometimes even before me.
Well, because I believe.
Right, yeah, right.
Everything we've, and
So there's power in that though. There's
Yeah,
like, that's
like,
super powerful.
anything he wants to do, he's going to do it. So
My wife would say the same thing about me.
Yeah,
but
me too.
I don't know if I would always feel that way if she didn't, like, if I didn't know that she was back there, like 100% had my back. There's been times where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. She's like, you do everything you want to do.
And you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. For 1 second, I forgot.
Yeah. You do, but you do though. Yeah, that's
They like hand you your freaking, your sword and shield like you're ready to go to battle.
exactly.
For a minute you forgot, and then they hand it to you, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to make that a checklist item because for anybody who's in a relationship, whether you're married or not, that's like key. That is number one. And I think that contributes to the longevity of a relationship. Like you can't stay with somebody if you don't feel like they believe in you.
Yeah.
And so find a way to figure out what your significant other's like goal or dreams or ambitions are. And please don't like take that in a general sense and say, my wife's goal is to, own a $5 million house one day, whatever. I'm talking like my wife, here's a good example. Today, my wife woke up early and she had to go down to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Apparently the Make-A-Wish Foundation has just been dying to get my wife part of their foundation. Mm-hmm. I didn't know a ton about it, but she's like, yeah, they've reached out to me a couple times, this, that. So finally she's like, do you want to know more about it? And I'm like, okay, let's hear it. So she puts me on a conference call and I just listened to them talking to her. Dude, they're like head over heels for my wife. My wife does not do a lot of the stuff that's like away from our kids because she has a very busy schedule, just taking care of like trying to make sure 3 kids don't die on a daily basis is a lot of work. But so she got up to, early this morning, 6 a.m. went down. And I was just like so pumped for her. I'm like trying to do everything I can to make sure that she's like excited and has like this stays motivated. Dude, today I saw her happier than I've probably seen her in 5 years. And she didn't do anything that amazing over the top, but she's doing something that she didn't even realize she was capable of. And everybody's like, I'm like supporting her and pushing her to do more and more. Find out what those little things are. Find out if your wife's going to be part of some organization or a charity or whatever the goals are. You, for example, can support Rob, in his new music thing. Whatever it is, just find out what these smaller, shorter term goals are. I don't know, that's not a small, short term goal because that's big, but find out what they are and like get amped about them. Get more amped about them than you would the Super Bowl or your favorite sporting event. Like just stay pumped about it.
My wife wants a mountain bike.
Dude,
she wants a hobby. Yeah, no, I'm buying her. Her birthday's coming up, but me, dude, I've got
You're a mountain
surfing.
biker now.
I've got dirt bikes. I ride Harleys. I've got all these things, and she doesn't have anything, And I've always talked to her about it. I'm like, what do you want to do? And recently, her cousin lives by her, and they've been going mountain biking. She says she wants a mountain bike, so I'm going to get her a mountain bike.
So let's call this find a way to be a better cheerleader.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah.
Just get behind somebody.
You get like really behind them
Yeah.
though. Like more, even be prepared to be more behind it than they are.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy when you think about it, but there's a lot of power in that. So, damn, we've covered some really good ground right here. I'm just going to finish with better cheerleader. So we got 4 checklist items here. Anything else that, now we get to the random part of this where there's like, I share stuff about music that I like, food that I like. Any food that people should try, any music that people should try.
I have a simple checklist item that like surprisingly helped me. And people ask me about it all the time, but like meditation, I've always thought it was sort of silly. And I never really knew how to do it. You know what I mean? I always thought that it was this larger commitment than it needed to be. And I actually found the Headspace app. I don't know if any of you guys use that. So they do a free trial. Once again, I'm not paid by these people.
Dude, I have to say that every time. I do brain.fm.
It's super simple. It's 10 days and it's 10 minutes a day. So you put on your headphones, you get in a clear, and they legitimately walk you through how to meditate. And it's really good to the point where they know when your mind's going to wander. So they get you breathing, they get you closing your eyes, and then they're like, okay, now just think about nothing. And for 1 second, you're like, okay, nothing. Shit, I need to take out the trash. And then they're like, as soon as you think that, the guy's like, hey, it's okay that things pop into your head. Just don't focus on them and let them float back out. And it's like they know where you're at in the stage. And then by day 10, you're counting your breaths, and I could count 30 breaths in a row and like not think of anything. And I think that for someone like me to not be able to not think of something is so powerful. And it's like, there's certain times when I can do that. Like, so we do a little car racing too. Like when I'm car racing, I'm only thinking about how don't I crash and die.
Right.
And there's, or sometimes when you're getting a really good lift, you think about that. But it's really hard not to think about business or think about like my to-do list or, these things. And that meditation has got me there. and it's a free trial. It's 10 days, 10 minutes a day. So ends up being 100 minutes, but it's the Headspace app. It's really, really
I
cool.
love that. We talk about meditation a lot on here.
Yeah,
Really,
I do
really
it
cool.
and I love it. I started a couple months back. I went to a meditation retreat and then we did another one. And it has been life-changing because it allows you to become like consciously aware. You become present. And it was amazing all the things I was missing out that I didn't realize I was missing out. Just always looking and thinking about business and what's next and everything. Taking that time to become present changed my life for real.
I actually learned, because I'm like you, I'm like distracted pretty easily. I always talk about how ADD I am. One thing that I learned early on that helped, dude, my fourth grade teacher taught us meditation. I don't know why I got so lucky, but she rolled out yoga mats and had us like legit meditating. Mrs. Hammock, like if she's listening to this, like changed my life. I think they should teach that in school.
Yeah.
But one thing I learned was you cannot think about anything if you're looking at one fixed point. For example, just look at that. Just focus on that. And try having your thoughts wander. If you just focus on one thing, it's really hard to have your thoughts wander all over the place. And so that's why when you get like caught in a daydream and you're just focusing like on nothing, that's because you're not letting yourself, like the front of your brain, work like it would, and like you're letting all these thoughts wander in. So I when I try to meditate, I find a fixed point and just stare at it, because as long as my eyes, I'm talking your eyes can't move like at all. As long as your eyes aren't wandering, you can't think. It's bizarre. There's science behind it. I can't remember where I saw it or heard it, but if you just focus on one certain thing, like I'm looking at that bottle cap, I honestly can't think about anything else but the freaking bottle cap. It's nuts. So if you have a hard time focusing, do that.
Yeah,
it's powerful. But dude, I love the meditation one. That's
I do it first thing when I wake up. I do actually do it in the sauna. I'm up to 20 minutes now. So like
that's awesome.
I'll do my cardio, then I get in the sauna for 20 minutes and I do it. And then it's over, and you're like, "Whoa!
Yeah,
I've been in the sauna for 20 minutes, so it kills two birds with one stone."
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I started doing it.
Yeah.
I got this hyperbaric chamber that I just bought that I'm super pumped on.
Yeah,
and I do it in there, but I do it at lunchtime because that's my craziest part of the day, and that is where my day either goes this way or goes that way.
Yeah.
Like, you know how lunch is, it's like, oh, shit, the day's halfway over, you get really distracted. So I'll go take 20 minutes and go sit in there and I'll do my meditation. Dude, it is like life-changing. And I think it's so funny. People hear meditation or they hear all these different things that we talk about and they just think it's like, I know for one, Marcus, like 2 or 3 years ago, you used to make fun of me for talking about meditation. Like it's one of those things where it's like, it's so out there to certain people that it's like not okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is a little hippie-ish. But I'm a vegan, so like, well,
yeah, we can't get any more.
It's like hitting pause.
I don't make fun of him for that stuff anymore.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That Marcus is to
I'm
the point
buying
where
into everything.
You
know?
get to the point where you realize that, oh shit, there's a reason people do this. Like there's huge benefits to this. Not like health benefits, mental benefits. Like it makes you a better person. Because if you don't take time to actually give yourself time to like be better, then you're going to be the same damn person day in and day out. Like you're never going to break the mold.
Yep.
I try to break my own mold every single day. I think you do too. Like there's a reason why you're constantly like you're reinventing your music now. You're like you're working on your body. You want to be 270, you want to be 250. You're constantly breaking whatever that like cycle that you're in, because like stillness is death.
Yes.
And if you just stop, you start dying. Like and whether it's like immediate or like just a slow, like your progression starts going backwards. I'm not interested in that.
No, not at all.
Hell no. So, dude, we could talk to you guys for hours. You guys are awesome. Any final words that you guys want to share?
Checklist item: listen to Rob Bailey and the Hustle Standard.
More specifically, what's the name of that song?
Dana Lynn Bailey on Instagram. Give
Yes,
me 2 million.
Absolutely. So yeah, where they can find you is what's this?
This is the song.
Paid in Full.
That's a good song.
Oh yeah, you need to listen to "Paid in Full" by Rob Bailey.
Yeah. There's a couple of bangers on the new album. Destroy's really good. I don't know. I think the whole album is really good, but you know.
So people can find you, Dana, at Dana Lynn Bailey. That's DANALYNN.
That's where it. Yeah,
that's where it gets you.
Dana with the Y is the porn star.
Oh, okay.
So feel free on your.
DANALINN.
Yep.
Bailey, BAILEY. And then you've got Rob Bailey, which is Kill Rob Bailey.
Yes.
And the reason why I always feel like Rob has 2 B's at the end of his name is because when you put Rob Bailey together, you see two B's.
I got you.
I always spell your name two B's. I
yeah,
think my
like
phone is
double
two
B.
B's. Yeah,
Oh,
Rob
weird.
two B's.
Double B.
Double B.
So that's KILLROBBAILEY.
Yes.
You guys have a couple of great, like, I love watching your accounts because you show what you're each doing that you're excited about. You drove your Porsche home from wherever. Where'd you drive that home?
Oh, that was Pennsylvania.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that was a 38-hour drive.
In a Porsche.
Yeah, in a 997 turbo. Yeah, with a roof rack.
Really?
Roof
Yeah.
rack is dope, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Super
I
cool.
couldn't. It all depended on the wind, but like top speed was like 80 or 100, depending. Which was like middle America. You should be doing 160.
Yes, absolutely.
And I was doing like, 95. It was painful.
Dude, I
but it saved me from a lot of tickets because like
Yeah.
I flew by cops going 95 when I would have been going 160. So.
So, dude, I love it. Follow these guys. Watch as they grow together. Watch as they grow individually and support each other. And follow their example. Like, there's a lot of things that you could just like take from your guys' like what you guys have done. And that's one of my favorite things to do is watch what other people have done well at and just do it. Like, implement that in my own life because that is how you become better. Because guess what? You're not gonna have all the good ideas on your own. It's okay to use other people's good ideas. There's a reason they show you. You know what I mean? So that's the purpose of the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed this. For those of you who are interested in learning about the acupressure in your ear, we're going to post it on the Heavy Checklist Instagram page. You can go to Amazon and buy just type in mini wood clothespin, and that's where you'll get these clothespins. You can do the big ones. They dangle from your ear and kind of look like an idiot. But it doesn't matter because we don't care what people think, right?
Exactly. Confidence.
You guys are the best. Thank you for being with us, and we will see you guys next time.
Put this on my name. This is everything. This is not a game. This is not about fame. Put this on my name. This is everything.